Hey kiddos, what's up? So I basically just woke up. I've been up for like an hour, but I'm trying to speak right now, this moment. First words of the day for me. Jumped into NHL19. Realized that I forgot to forgot to play my last game or two to qualify for round two of um, I don't know if we'd call it current or just ended, technically just ending now, processing results. Um, a competitive season. I did play the required ones for round one, so it looks like I'll get a decent result in about 5.5. I'm sure it's at the server reset time or whatever. It's about 5.5 hours or so from now. I'll get a decent result uh, for the whole I don't know for the whole. For me, it's the whole season. I don't know the whole round. I think they call it however they break. So is it? So it's probably season is the main thing, and then the two parts are round one, round two. So if that's what it is, whether it's that or not, just hopefully that makes sense if I explain it that way. So if it's round one, round two, and then a season, I did round one, got the rewards for that. Did round two, but didn't do however many I'm supposed to do. So I'm not gonna get anything for that. And my round one results plus a couple of games in round two go together for my season total, and that season total will give me a reward for the overall season. Again, in about 5.5 hours when that ends. And probably unfortunately, I didn't end up doing the qualifier for the next season of Hut Champs either, and it was a pretty good streak that I was on, having qualified like once in the first whatever it was, almost 40 months or so, and never winning anything, always finishing on the bottom of the list. So it's not a huge deal. It just means I'll miss out on a platinum player pack whenever that process, which is probably like in another week from now. Um, but it was nice to be able to see kind of those collectibles rack up, because starting with, I'm not sure exactly when, maybe 41st or 42nd or something like that. I got all of them up until now, except for like the second one, like the 43rd. So say I got like 42, then I missed 43 for some reason, and then I got 44, 45, 46, 47, I think 48, and then I think this one that they're doing now is like 49. I don't know the exact numbers, but it doesn't really matter. The point is mostly just that there aren't, even with all the bots and all that crap, there's not that many people that play that would keep me from being able to qualify in either the first round or the second round of the qualifiers. And the second round of qualifiers tends to be easier for me because you got all those accounts that qualified in the first round that don't need to, and in my opinion should not even be allowed to play in the second round. And I knew that the first round was there. I just opted to skip it and assumed that I was going to do the second round, and I just didn't get it done in time. And I was aware of it late last night, like after midnight, that that I was going to be missing out on both of those things, and that I could effectively have just you know stumbled over here to the console and jumped into games, hoping that they would find opponents for me in both of those events, and just kind of wait for the first whistle and quit. Um, or not even that, just wait for the puck drop, then quit, and probably get the minimum qualifier, and I would have gotten extra. I don't know, at least like an extra probably mini free agency pack and a gold pack for that second round of the CS, and then as I said already, the platinum player pack for Hot Champs, even though that would have taken like a week to get that pack. Um, so instead, what are we talking about here? I put it in the description, but this is something I've clearly done, more than once. I'd have to click back and see. I don't know. This might be the last time that I can do this specifically, which this is turning in your monthly um, collectibles for August. 16 of them in this case to get the Extreme Free Agency pack. And as I said, I've done it at least twice, maybe 3 times. So if it's 3 times, then definitely this will be the last time that I'll be able to do that. I kind of forgot already if it showed the kind of completion check mark next to it after I finished it, and I'm not on that page behind all this pack opening here. Not really sure why. I don't think I'm there. I can go to it and find out. And it's not as if that's the only thing I did in the month. I did 2 of the legend upgrades that I was qualified to be able to do. The Messier changing from Canucks to Rangers, as well as giving some boosts to that already overall 99 card, including maxing out his shot and stuff like that. And what at least one other at least one of the other monthly award legend upgrades, not Ferraro, but one of the other ones. And then from there, just kind of been doing these free agency packs mostly. So this is probably going to be the last one. Whether I have another one that I can get for 16 or not, I just haven't been jumping in, even if I'm home and mostly available. I'm not setting alarms and jumping in every 7 hours and 50 minutes to get the next daily reward pack for that monthly collectible, to jump it into here. I have at least, I believe, like 98% certain that I've at least done all of the event games or whatever that on offline versus CPU that give you monthly collectibles. I know there's a few of the single ones, the ones that tend to come up, not necessarily every day, but like a new one could come up every day. And it's just one objective that you got to do to get whatever that award is, as opposed to the ones that started with that had, I think, nine steps, and you had to beat the first one to get into the second one. And it was kind of standard thing where there's three star challenges, and again, you'd have to win at least one of those 3 stars to open up the next tier, the next level, for those 9. But you'd have to, if the bottom reward of the 3 was the thing that you wanted, say it was 500 coins for 1 star, 600 coins for 2nd star, and then the 3rd star was I don't know, like a draft collectible, then obviously you'd have to win all 3 stars, not at one shot, not in one game. Luckily, unlike what I'm experiencing right now over in MLB The Show, where you have to get them all done in the same time frame or whatever. They're here in NHL19, and hopefully this does not change for 20, even though I don't intend to play as of this moment. But for everyone else that's playing, I hope it remains the same, where you can kind of focus on one of the stars in each game that you play, and maybe get it done in 3. Even if you go to do that, sometimes you just kind of end up getting lucky and picking up 2 at a time. Like say that it's have, I don't know, at least 10, 12, maybe 20 hits is one of the stars, but then one of the other stars is take no penalties. Kind of difficult to do, because you're always trying to blast the CPU opponent, and it's not that hard, especially if they're anywhere near the boards. It's really easy, in my opinion, to pick up a penalty for that. So for me at least, like if it was those 2 things, and then the 3rd thing was get a shutout, or win by X number of goals or whatever, I would usually try to get the hits out first, trying not to care about whether or not I get a penalty, and probably getting at least 1 penalty, and then coming back in the next time and try to go without getting a penalty, and then just ends up getting lucky enough to get a shutout, because you're basically, if you're like me, you're just kind of skating around with the same player, trying to not do anything that's going to get a blown whistle, and then you squeak in a goal, and somehow they don't get any off on you, and you end up getting both of those second stars. And in the example that I used, in that case, maybe you'd get one entry draft collectible, which can be certainly very helpful. So back to the point of where we're at now and why I opted to, I guess, turn on the mic and do a broadcast, even though I was opening the pack without doing that. You will see there's more to the pack for me to open, so not making this up. And you'll also see that these are untradeable. So stands to reason that that's where this came from, is that I turned in 16 monthly collectibles for an extreme free agency pack, which again gives you nothing but untradeable cards. And I stopped when this here on your screen popped up, and that's where I opted to do the broadcast. I had not, I don't think it's that I hadn't seen this card, it's that I just hadn't really paid much of attention at all to the card. But I'd heard Thrash talk about it, having pulled it, but I don't actually know if it was like that he pulled it on maybe his second team, where he was focusing on trying to win Div 1 titles with, again, like a secondary team that wouldn't have had any of the monthly award legends on it or whatever, and was just anchored by the base, I don't know, maybe gold commons 78 overall, probably, Tim Heed. And that was kind of a meme and a joke. One of many that they had in that channel, was the Tim Heed captaincy thing. And fun for them that they eventually got a Tim Heed free agency upgrade card. I think it was probably like this, like a 95. So point being, the reason why I mentioned that is because I'd heard him talk about the Jamie Alexiak card, but I don't know in what context. Maybe it was pulled in a pack, and therefore he didn't need or want it on his team, and just decided to sell it for a few coins, and then do something else with it or whatever. Or maybe it was untradeable like mine is, and so it got added to his team, either his main team or the second team, where it was trying to show like, hey, you can start this game, if you hadn't bought it, or if your I guess your parents maybe didn't have a chance to get it for you even before the holidays at the end of the calendar year, and you picked it up super late. You can still build out a solid enough squad and compete in the online seasons. So point is, I was aware that there was a 95 overall free agency Jamie Alexiak, and I thought that Thrash was saying that not only that he had pulled it and had it, but that he liked it, and that's where it is. I hadn't looked at it, hadn't examined it, so this was my first look at it. So my initial impressions, like almost all of the free agency cards, max skate, 99 acceleration, agility, balance, and speed, pretty solid. And like a lot of them, a little unfortunate that it's only a 91 in endurance. But for me, especially for a D-man who, when I get to the other stats that you can already see on your screen, should seem pretty obvious that I'm just never gonna play him as a forward. So having him as part of any defensive pairing that I have, and maybe some special teams or something like that, that endurance is very key, and having it filled at 99 would be amazing, or maybe like 97 and some boosts from synergy, but having it 91 over 90 or 89 honestly is something that's important to me. So that extra one or two that it could have been, I find very helpful. And then anybody that's seen any of the broadcasts that I've done when I've examined cards basically since I don't know, somewhere probably between Halloween and Thanksgiving. Um, Sorry, so that wouldn't be true because it could have been would have had to have been at least after Halloween, but there was I think even post Halloween, there was still another week or two in which they had that weird time where it was between two tuners. So whatever that tuner or update had been, where they decided to kind of beef up checking, particularly body checking, and if your guy was big enough, strong enough, had the stats and or plus the synergies, essentially the Halloween Dust and Buff one, um, you could basically take anybody off the puck, and they're fast enough to be able to to get there, where you didn't have these road runner guys being able to zip in and out without running into a big body. But it was a very short period of time in which that was the case. The rest of the time that it was not. So from whenever that ended and whenever that next tuner or update came out after that kind of nerfed what had been boofed previously as far as body work. Since then, I have almost focused exclusively on the skate and shot stats. So for this particular card, the power for slap shot and wrist shot, I guess, is quote unquote there. It's 97 and 96, which isn't the worst for a 95 overall card, and would certainly get some increases from synergies. So 97 if it gets +2. I'm not paying attention right now. Let's see if I don't know if Slapshot Power would get. Probably would from one of the synergies that he has there, but even if not, I think I think at least one of the team-based synergies adds +2 for that. I have so many cards that just have straight away 99s on at least power, if not power and accuracy. I haven't played like game in like a week, and even before that, I was playing at most like maybe about a game per day maximum. So I don't even really remember. But either way, if it's not boosted, then it is what it shows there, 97, 96. If it's +2, that's obviously 99, 98. If it's more than +2, then it's 299s, and power is maxed. So power is either close to max or max, and that's solid enough, particularly for a defenseman. Accuracy is garbage, 82 and 79 respectively. So even going again back to, at just before things, sometime in November of last year, I would have looked to, even though this player at that time would have been, pretty sure, my highest overall rated card, and and other things that would be good as well. I would still, play him as a defender, not just because that's his natural position, but just because that's where I was putting players who had heavy shots that didn't have as much accuracy. Welcome to the room, whoever just signed in. Feel free to comment if you'd like. To catch you up if you are still here. This card here, the Jamie Alexiak free agency card, was just pulled in an extreme free agency pack. It's non-tradable or untradeable because it was the 16 monthly collectibles trade-ins that I did to get this pack. And I'm going to click out of here in about a minute when I'm done giving my thoughts on the card to show what else I've had so far in this pack. I've not finished the pack yet. As soon as I got this, I opted to toss on the broadcast with the mic here. So what I already said is obviously it's max skate, max speed, endurance at 91. We would prefer that to be higher because it matters, but at least it's not any worse than that. In terms of shot, like a lot of earlier defender cards, even before the free agency ones came out, basically max on power or pretty close to it, depending on how synergies work for him. So that's not too bad, particularly from a defensive defenseman. but the accuracy is lacking. And so, if I were to play him, it would always be on the defensive side for that reason. Handles is his weakest area, even though the overall ratings between handles and shot are relatively close. So 85 overall, and he doesn't really have much of anything that even kind of gets. I don't know. I mean, it's that rating because passing is 87 and puck control is 87. Welcome to whoever else just came in. Feel free to comment if you'd like. I will do a 2-second recap again. It's the Jamie Alexiak free agency card, just pulled in an extreme free agency pack that was picked up from turning in 16 monthly collectibles. So this is a non-tradable card. I will come out of this, click back in about 2 seconds when I'm done with examining the card, to show that I jumped on and did a broadcast and jumped on the mic as soon as this card came up. Not because it's the greatest card in the world, but just because I wanted to do a little synopsis of it. So I will show that I've not even completely finished the pack yet, and I can show what else I got in the pack. So again, skating is basically max. Endurance is a little low. I prefer it a little bit higher. Shot power is basically max. Accuracy is garbage. So he's always going to play on defense, even if he was a forward, as opposed to being a defensive defenseman that he is. His handles are super weak. Passing at 87 and puck control are not the worst, but he can't deke, and his hand-eye is just as bad. But checking is basically maxed 99. He's got 99 body checking and strength to go with 96 shot blocking and 95 stick checking. So pretty solid there. And then his defensive rating is 95. And part of that's going to come from a defensive awareness that's 95 that should have been a little bit better. He doesn't have anything like defensive warrior that would bump that up automatically whenever that's activated as a synergy, but the awareness stats can go up a little bit, and obviously you see right above that his offensive awareness is way worse than the defensive awareness, if you think that those types of things matter. And you can see the rest of the stats there. I don't think there's a need to focus on too much of them, other than the fact that maybe his aggression and discipline and fighting skills are all kind of in that same area. So depending on what your team's makeup is would determine whether or not he's going to be a guy that might get automatically forced into fights, even if you are not the one instigating and pressing over here on the PlayStation side the triangle button a couple times. So the last thing that I think would be worth pointing out here is that he's got 93 durability, and so clearly it's another thing, much like endurance, that I don't know if you're like me, you'd want that to be as high as possible with a 99, but 93 I would take, and not that it needs to be pointed out, but his lowest overall underlying stat is the face-offs with 68, but I could not tell you why in the world you would want to take a left defenseman who is a defensive defenseman and put him in to try to take face-offs in any type of makeup, whether as a center, actually as a forward, or on any of the special teams setups. So beyond that, the other things that would matter here for me is that he's huge. He's 6'7", 255 pounds, so considerably taller than kind of most of the game, and then 255 pounds, got a decent amount of bulk on him. Obviously compared to somebody who's say 6'4", 6'5", and 255, they'd be they'd be generally a bit wider, and for him having that height, he's just going to be kind of what I would consider to be almost a kind of a perfect weight, perfect body for somebody that's that size, and comes with 99 checking, and would certainly be somebody back there on the defensive side who can use that max speed to get back there, and get a body on the puck carriers to try to disrupt play a little bit. His synergies are, they're fine. They are what they are. At this point in the game, there's so many cards that have +2 or even better for 5 or more. Well, typically up to 5 different synergies. So it's I don't feel the need to really examine each one of those. Stuff like at the bottom, the BB, that's Brickway Boss or Boys. I think they call it Boss. Mine's been activated for a while now, and it seems like I'm still getting a ton of cards that are like this that give you a +2. And I think you need maybe like 4 points to activate that. And right now, I think I've already got like 14 or 16 out of 4. It seems ridiculous. I'd have to pull a ton of players off of my team before that synergy wouldn't be activated. So the activations, the synergies are what they are. The last thing that I would say that's worth pointing out, for me at least, is the fact that he's a left-handed shot. So generally at this point in the game, where I'm mostly end-gamed, even though my team is not, it's not perfect. I'm not one of those guys that's running with nothing but 99s, despite the fact that my front 6 are 5 of the 6 are 99s, and the one that's not is a 96 JT Comfort, because he's right-handed, and so I push him over on the left wing on the second line, and my third center is also 99. So I could play my front 6 as nothing but 99s if I wanted to. It just doesn't fit my play style based off of their handedness, which is why I point this out here, that he's left-handed. His natural position is as a LD. I'm going to be playing him over on the right side, and off the top of my head, I don't know whether that means he'd be front line or second line. I would be kind of surprised if I'd have him on the blue line or third line or whatever. So pretty good card in my estimation. I'll finally click out now, and you'll be able to see where we're at. So as I said, this is untradeable because this is from cards we just opened up. The rest I wouldn't say is kind of anything to write home about. Not that the Alexiak necessarily is. Pretty glad to have at least the one draft collectible thus far, and having these two 80 overall gold rares means I'm going to do a reroll. I'll do that basically right after I open this pack. I'll keep the stream going, and I'll jump over to the sets, and I'll do that. And it looks like we've got so far 3 untradeable gold commons. I'm not doing a count because I don't want to waste too much time of whether or not I have that many more player item cards to come out. If I had 2 more untradeable ones, that's pretty easy for me to do that set. But the fact that I've got 3, I guess I'll just toss them in. If 3 is all I get, I'll toss them in with 2 tradable gold commons to be able to get 2 gold rare rerolls for you guys at the end of this broadcast here. Let's see what else we get in the pack. There's 1 more gold common. If we get 1 more, we won't have to waste any ones that we can trade. And we get the second draft collectibles. This is super sweet. This is an amazing pack in my opinion. The Alexiak is what it is. It's not the greatest card in the world. I'm a bit lacking on D, so I'm happy to take the card, and I know for a fact that he's going to be on the team right now in some form or fashion. At a minimum, going to be able to play the third line over on the right side. The final card, very close, didn't get there. We got four gold common cards, 2 80 overall gold rares, and Anthony Mantha untradeable to toss in there as well, which means that doing 2 gold rare rerolls. Sorry, 2 gold rare player packs from the 2 rerolls means that Mantha will probably be there for the next one that I would do 8 plus hours from now. And the 2 collectibles, obviously I'm not going to have time to get those off into the the 6 trade-in for any free agency card before that ends, like today or whatever it is, because I think I don't think I have any at the moment before these 2, but I suspect that those will still have value in whatever gets released, if that's today or tomorrow's reset. So go ahead and toss all these into the collection. And you got those three. You know, I haven't looked at the underlying stats of these, but these three Lightning 99 Plays of the Year card. Looks like Kucherov might be 99 across the board outside of checking, and Stamkos basically 99 across the board except for checking as well. But at 98, it's probably bumped up to 99 anyways with the with synergy. So those are pretty sweet cards. Clearly not pure 99s like my Plays of the Year Barkov is, but pretty solid in my opinion. And you can in fact get them from what we're doing right here from the trade-in sets for the gold rare player. Pardon me, the gold rare player packs. Because that's actually exactly where I got my Barkov from. Probably have to angle this a little bit. You know, they certainly, geez, I got to take out 3 of the 5. They certainly could make this so that you could have as part of your selection process. You know, where it says autofill, you do autofill or autofill duplicates only. You know, they could make it where it's, you know, it's autofill. Autofill untradeable only. They already do it over in their in FIFA. Hold on a second. What did I do wrong here? Did I miscount how many untradeable gold commons we got from that thing? All right, I guess I did. Oh no, I remember now. Yeah, I said it when we got Brock McGinn. I think that was the 4th one, and I said we had 4 out of 5. I thought for some reason as I was doing this now that we had 5 out of 5, but we do not. And then here I can go in and click it if I wanted to, but autofill is going to put on the lowest overall card there, which is going to be the what's that? How do you say SG Scarboza? Feels like if you say the G like a K, I guess that'd be how you say that. Don't really know. Anyways, we're going to do this one as well. So I got 2 more packs I'll be able to open for you, and that'll be the end of the broadcast. Let's see if we can like rip any of those Plays of the Year or something else super sweet to add to the team, since these are untradeable and therefore have no value if you can't play them on the team other than future other trade-ins. '81 Brendan Gallagher, one of the most common cards that you'll get from these packs. Not meaning like an 81 overall, but specifically that gold rare base Brendan Gallagher. See if we can get something that can actually play on the team. Saw that it was a special color. It wasn't a standard card. Got halfway excited for a second, and yeah, there's no excitement at all on that. So that's going to be it for today for NHL. I'll probably do MLB later. I had plans that I was supposed to have left for already at this moment, and I have not. Not because of me, but because of the other person having some issues being able to stick to the plan for the day. So I don't know how my day is going to go. But obviously with MLB The Show having its resets Fridays afternoons, if I am around, I will be around for that, and I'll probably be broadcasting in some form or fashion, even though I did a bunch of that game yesterday without broadcasting just because I didn't know how long I was going to play for and what kind of stuff I was going to do or whatever. But is what it is. So that's it for today for NHL19. I wouldn't really expect much more that I can show in this game in the next probably day or two. Although I guess I'll have at least a premium free agency pack that is not untradeable that I'll get in in the reset in about 5 hours from the competitive season event. So I guess maybe I'll open that live, since I didn't open this one up technically live, and got something pretty sweet that I was able to add to the team, plus a couple of important collectibles. So peace out for now.